Oh, Stagg Jr., how much I love you, but sometimes it's very difficult to get my hands on one of your bottles. But alas, today we're going to talk about some alternatives that people like you and me can obtain if we cannot find our coveted Stagg Jr. Oh yeah, I'm excited. Let's get into it. Let's go! Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Carlos. Thank you for joining me. Boom, boom, bow. That's my air guitar here on the Whiskey Corner. Truly appreciate you guys stopping by, checking out the video, checking out the channel. Guys, we're at like 30, almost 3,300 subscribers. I have you guys to thank for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys know I have a goal of 5,000 before the end of the year. Might reach it, might not, but we're gonna give it a hell of a try, and I have you guys to thank. So if you wanna help out and you're not yet subscribed, do me the favor and subscribe, because any subscription, any friend that can do that would definitely help me out. What are we doing today? Well, we are going over alternatives for one of my favorite coveted whiskeys, and this is, or bourbon, and this is Stagg Jr. I know this one doesn't have the Junior. To me, they're still Stagg Jr, right? I freaking love it. This is like a baby of mine, and I have a few. I have probably like 4 or 5 different ones. This one in particular is 23A, and yeah, it gets difficult to find, quite honestly. I was able to get a few times 23B, which that wasn't the one that I really wanted to get. I was really looking for a 23C. Couldn't get my hands on one of those at a good price. Then I was looking for the 24A. Couldn't get my hands on it for a good price. Now I heard that 23B is out. So obviously I'm trying to get it. Plus, you know, the other 2 that I just mentioned. But it's difficult, guys. I mean, there's only a few places that I can get it at a good price. And you know, it's not always the case. It's not always the given that I'm able to actually purchase it there. So we have to come up with alternatives. There has to be some other stuff out there that's comparative to it, similar, or that you can drink in the place of. And I wanted to give you my list of 6 with 2 honorable mentions that you can buy, that are on the shelf for the most part, and it'll still give you that goodness from a Stagg Jr. So let's get started, but first, I'm gonna have a little inaugural cheers of this Stagg 23A. Cheers. That is so freaking good. I freaking love Stagg Jr, if I haven't said that already in this video. Well, let's get started. And the first one that we're gonna start with is the cheapest one on this list, and it's also from Buffalo Trace or Sazerac Company, whatever you want to call it. It is Benchmark Full Proof. Oh yeah, I went there. So it's 125 proof. Benchmark is from Buffalo Trace, and you get some very similar notes. I call it the Buffalo Trace funk, and I think it's good, guys. This is about $20 to $25 in my area, but you cannot go wrong with this. I mean, if you're gonna go to the store and buy a $20 to $25 bottle, I'll recommend this all day, every day. Yes, over Wild Turkey 101, probably over Jim Beam 7, probably over some of the other ones, but this is definitely one that I'll tell you to put into your cart because it's really good, and it definitely reminds me of Stagg Jr. I've seen a couple of YouTubers do like blind taste-offs between these 2, and this is very, very comparable. I haven't done it myself, but I will tell you that I definitely do like Benchmark Full Proof, and it should be on your list. Another one that's also at 125 proof and it's a full proof as well actually, is 1792 full proof. Now, this one's not open because this is going to Erin O'Donovan. Congrats. She's one of the my patrons that won the bottle raffle that we had there. So, yeah, it's not open. This is going to her, but I wanted to showcase it in this video because this is from one of our stores, Liquor Depot, and this is really freaking good. I've never tasted a bad 1792 full proof, whether it's the shelfers that you see on the shelf or the single barrels like this one. 1792 full proof is always a good bottle. And quite honestly, I will tell you that it definitely compares to Stagg Jr. So you should put it on your list. One that has a weird profile compared to Stagg Jr. And what I say by weird is that they're not equal in like the actual profiles, but I think it still gives you that little like pop in your mouth and you're like, whoa, and then it brings it in kind of like a Stagg Jr. does. And that is from our good old friends at Old Forester with our Old Forester single barrel strength. Oh yeah, this in particular one is 126.1 proof, warehouse H, floor 7. These are a little bit pricier, I will say, than you were to get a Stagg Jr, but it's still cheaper than you finding a Stagg Jr at $200, right? So this is a good one, and quite honestly, I haven't tasted a bad one. I've tasted some that drink a little hot, that I will say, but I've never tasted a bad one of these. So this should be on your list, and they're pretty easy to find if you look. But they are on the more difficult end. It's not like you're gonna walk into a liquor store and always see it on the shelf. At least I don't here in Florida. But there are places that do carry this, so you'll be able to find it easier than a Stagg at $70. One that should be pretty easy to find because, you know, they've done a lot better with distribution. Here in Florida, they come out a little later, right? If they're supposed to come out in May, we'll probably see that bottle in July. That's just how it is. You may already know what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about our good old friends at Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Well, our good old friends at Heaven Hill that put out Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This particular one is the very coveted C923. Yes, with the code A223, if you're wondering. Not that it matters, but I know somebody's gonna ask it. Yeah, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is a very good comparison. And this one particular is 133 proof, right? But there's a lot of them that are in the 120 proofs, under 120 proof as well. So they definitely stack up against the Stagg Juniors because Stagg Juniors are usually around 120 something, or at least the latest ones are. So that definitely stacks up. This one stacks up against like the older ones that were like in the 130 proofs. But either way, you cannot go wrong for Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, any batch, quite honestly. I just particularly do like the C923. Before we get to our last two, I wanted to go over two honorable mentions. Now, they're honorable mentions because other people have mentioned them to me. I don't know if I particularly agree. I think these 6 that I'm giving you here are way better comparisons, but I can see why these 2 would be a good comparison. So we got Four Roses single barrel strength. These are all usually single barrel picks. This one in particular is from Primo Liquors down in South Florida. And you know, it's pretty good. It's not my favorite. Maybe I don't particularly like the Four Roses profile as much as other people, but it's still good. I would still pick any of the other 6 that I have here as an alternative. And also we got Knob Creek single barrels. So the Knob Creek single barrels are usually 120 proof. This is 120 proof. This is actually from the Dram Code. My boy over there in Cali, Big Vic, got this for me. So this is really freaking good. They actually call it BTAC or BeamTac. Yeah, BeamTac. And it is pretty good. I just do feel that the other 6 here are a better comparison, but this could be a good comparison as well. Not just that one in particular, which is really good, but any single barrel from Knob Creek. Well, I think that no list is complete when you're comparing other similar whiskeys than this. And this is, I mean, you had to know it was gonna be on this list. Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Bourbon. Oh yeah, this is definitely a big comparison to Stagg Jr. This one in particular is 131.3 proof. Very great. This is a pick, again, from Primo Liquors. And it's really good, guys. I mean, I have never tasted a bad Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof. Yes, it's Tennessee whiskey. Yes, you're gonna say that it's not considered bourbon. We're not gonna go down that route, but it's definitely a great comparison to Stagg Jr. And it's always on the shelf, guys. That's probably the one, well, between that and Benchmark Full Proof, that you can probably find anywhere, right? So yeah, it's definitely a good one. Then this last one, I will say, is a little bit hit out of left field, right? And it's gonna be a newer one that I'm gonna add to the list. Maybe others haven't, but I'll tell you why I added it to it. And this is Barrel King Knighted. Now, Barrel King Knighted, obviously, Barrel King is a subscription service that you'll get a bottle or more than one bottle a month, but you pay, what, like $125 for it every month, and you get one of these bottles. Now, the Knighted edition of these are usually barrels that are finished in, or whiskey that is finished in ex-bourbon barrels. Very coveted ex-bourbon barrels. And this particular one is called Stagg Lee because it's finished in ex-Stagg barrels. Now, yes, you're paying $125 for this plus shipping, $145, but you want that Stagg experience and a nice little blend. I mean, might be worth it, and it's still cheaper than you going out there and buying a Stagg Jr. for $200 or more, right? So yeah, Barrel King Knighted, I definitely think should make this list, and I put it as the last one. Let me know, are there any that I missed that you think should be alternative to Stagg Jr.? I don't know, there could be some other ones. Comment below, what do you think about my list? And what would you put on there that I didn't? Or what would you switch some of these for? Please do me some favors, like or dislike this video. It will help me out either way. Please subscribe because I want to get to that 5,000 subscribers and you guys can help me out with that. Please also check out the Patreon in the description. As I just said, Aaron just won a bottle of the 1792 Full Proof Single Barrel from Liquor Depot. And you know, those are the type of raffles that we do on that. As little as $3 a month will at least get you to support the channel. Obviously, to get into one of those raffles, it's, you know, more a month, but go on there, check it out. If you're feeling generous, we'd love to have you as a patron. Lastly, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this, and I want you to enjoy that whiskey. Cheers.